On the morning of November 14th, 1969, a fisherman on the Connecticut River found something that was not a fish. By the time the investigation was complete, a man's entire constructed life had unraveled into something nobody who knew him could fully explain. Thomas Michael Finnegan was, by every visible measure, exactly the kind of man you want living next door. He coached Little League, he attended Mass every Sunday, he brought donuts to the office on Friday mornings and remembered the names of his clients' children. He was also, as Massachusetts State Police would spend 18 months establishing, a man who had been leading a second life of such calculated complexity that investigators described it as looking at a map of a country that appeared perfectly normal until you realized the borders were wrong. Thomas Michael Finnegan was born in 1928 in Dorchester, Massachusetts. He served in Korea, earned an accounting degree on the GI Bill, and became a senior partner in a respected Boston firm. He was married with 3 children and lived in a 4-bedroom colonial in Watertown. He was home by 6:30 for dinner every weekday, without exception. The victim was Carol Louise Weston, 34 years old, a bookkeeper at one of Finnegan's client firms. She had been in the river for approximately 72 hours when she was found. Thomas Finnegan had known Carol Weston for 4 years. Their relationship had begun during a routine audit and continued with meticulous logistical precision. He maintained a separate apartment in Springfield under the name Thomas F. Morris, paid rent in cash, and used a separate telephone line answered from payphones at prearranged times. Carol Weston's husband, Raymond, a civil engineer, had trusted his wife completely and believed her overnight trips were for bookkeeping training courses. The investigation's most significant discovery was a handwritten letter from Carol to Finnegan, drafted but never sent. She was pregnant. She had told him. His response was that the child could not be part of either of their lives and that she would need to make arrangements. Carol had declined. She had begun to consider telling Raymond the truth. Investigators concluded that Finnegan had performed a cold calculation, that the simplest solution to the threat Carol now represented was to remove the problem entirely. Forensic examination of Finnegan's 1967 Buick Electra revealed trace blood evidence consistent with Carol Weston's blood type. Toll records placed his vehicle near the Connecticut River access road on the night she disappeared. His alibi did not hold. Thomas Michael Finnegan was arrested on the steps of his Tremont Street office on February 18, 1970. He remained completely silent, composed, and cooperative as the evidence was laid before him. The trial opened in Suffolk County Superior Court in March 1971. On April 5, 1971, he was found guilty of murder in the first degree and sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Thomas Michael Finnegan died in prison in 1994. He gave no interviews and made no public statement. Patricia Finnegan divorced him in 1971 and raised their 3 children in Lowell. Raymond Weston gave one interview in 1991. When asked what he thought about when he thought about Thomas Finnegan, he said, "I don't think about him much. What I think about is Carol deciding that there were things she needed to keep from me. I think she might have been afraid I couldn't handle the truth. I think she might have been right." The house on Belmont Street sold in the summer of 1971. The new owners repainted it blue and planted a different garden. They lived there happily for 30 years, with no idea what had happened there. The most disturbing thing about a hidden life is not the person who hides it. It is all the people around them who trust too completely to look, and who discover, only when it ends, that the world they were living in was never entirely real.